Crushing on a celebrity is more or less a rite of passage. Whether you're a huge Hollywood buff or barely pay attention to the latest celeb gossip, chances are that there's at least one famous person that you found to be very attractive. So it's easy to imagine how totally crazy it would be if you ended up marrying up that person. It happens though, and more often than you might expect. Many celebrities have ended up in long-term relationships with people that once admired them from afar. In this video, we look at 25 celebrities that married their fans. But before you continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the thumbs up button. For quite some time, it seemed that Reese Witherspoon had only eyes for other actors. She had a string of high-profile romances, including a marriage to Ryan Phillippe and a long-term relationship with Jake Gyllenhaal. But after she met talent agent Jim Toth, the Walk of Fame Oscar winner started singing a different tune. Toth has Hollywood roots, but was by no means a household name when he met Reese. He was however a big fan of his future wife's work. The pair married in 2011 and welcomed a son in 2012. Imagine developing a huge crush on the drummer of your favorite band, and then imagine marrying him. That was Maureen Cox's life, at least for a short time. The hairdresser was an early fixture at early Beatles shows. Ringo Starr eventually noticed her, and the two started dating just as the Fab Four began to gain notoriety. Starr and Cox were married in 1965, shortly after the pair found out that she was pregnant. However, the Beatles' rock and roll lifestyle eventually took a toll on the union, and they divorced in 1975. Legend has it that when Steve Harvey first saw his wife, Marjorie Bridges, at a comedy club in Memphis, he told her he was going to marry her. Whether or not that's true, it makes for a great Hollywood love story. Bridges, a fashion blogger, and Harvey have in fact known each other for many years. While he rose to become a famous comedian, she remained one of his biggest fans through the highs and lows of his career. The couple married in 2007, following Harvey's previous two marriages. Green Day's frontman and occasional Broadway star doesn't just have a passion for music. He's also devoted to his wife of 25 years, Adrienne Nessa. And while many musicians wind up romancing models or other celebrities, Armstrong met his completely not famous wife the old-fashioned way, backstage at a concert. While Armstrong called the wedding an impulsive move, he credits his long-term relationship with helping him navigate the chaotic aspects of life on the road. Today, Armstrong and Nessa have 2 children. When aspiring actress Alice Kim was just 19 years old, she was working at a Los Angeles restaurant when one of her favorite actors, Nicolas Cage, came in for a bite to eat. Despite their age difference, Cage was roughly 20 years her senior at the time. The two waitresses and Oscar winner connected and soon began dating. Cage and Kim were married in 2004 and had one son together before separating in 2016. When Daniel Moder met Julia Roberts in 2000, he was already a huge fan. I mean, how could he not be? She was one of the biggest stars in the world. He acted as a cinematographer on her film, The Mexican, and the pair hit it off. Following his divorce from his first wife and her separation from longtime partner Benjamin Bratt, the two married in 2002. Thus far, they managed to sustain one of the longest marriages in Hollywood. They have 3 children and keep a relatively low profile despite her perpetual A-list status. While Jessica Seinfeld has never aspired to her husband's level of fame, she's seen her share of tabloid headlines over the years. The author and former public relationships professional met Jerry Seinfeld while working out on the gym in 1998. And she raised eyebrows when she dumped her first husband in favor of the comedian, despite having just returned from her honeymoon. Since then, Jessica has made a career for herself, writing cookbooks and founding the charitable organization Baby Buggy. She and Seinfeld have been married since 1999 and have 3 children together. Amber Rose had already carved out her own career as a model and musician when she met Wiz Khalifa, but she was also a pretty big fan of the rapper in her own right. The pair met in 2011, hit it off and began dating. In 2013, they wed shortly after the birth of their first son. Despite their shared passions for hip-hop music and each other, Ross and Khalifa couldn't make it work. She filed for divorce in 2014. When Jessica Alba met Cash Warren in 2004, she probably could have dated anyone she wanted, but she was drawn to the Fantastic Four's production assistant, and the pair soon hit it off. They married in 2008 and have settled into a solid routine, raising their two daughters together. These days, Warren works as a film producer, while Alba splits her time between her acting career and running the Honest company. Actor Josh Duhamel has always exuded a kind of classic Hollywood cool, so it's hard to imagine him being tongue-tied around anyone, especially his future wife. But he being a long-time fan of Black Eyed Peas singer Fergie, so he totally botched his chance to impress her when they met on the set of the series Las Vegas. He recently told the team at Good Morning America that he approached her and said, "You are hot," to which she replied, "I know, I read it in a magazine." It turned out that he had mentioned it in an interview before, and she was well aware of his long-standing crush. If you grew up in the 1980s or 1990s, it's almost a given that you knew and loved Mariah Carey. But in Cannon's case, he got to translate his long-term crush on the pop songstress into a full-fledged romance. The couple married in 2008, and Carey gave birth to their children, fraternal twins, on their third wedding anniversary in 2011. Sadly, the couple separated in 2014 and ultimately divorced in 2016. You'd think that Chris Martin, lead singer of Coldplay, would have been starstruck when an Oscar-winning actress came backstage to meet him. But it seems as though the opposite may have been very true. Gwyneth Paltrow sought out the band's frontman after being wowed by their concert, and the two hit it off. They married in 2003 and had two children together. Though they divorced in 2016, Paltrow remains a fan of her husband's music. She was spotted at Coldplay concert last summer. It takes a special kind of person to keep up with the pressure of life in the public eye, and Hathaway was lucky enough to find that in Adam Schumann, her producer husband. The pair met in 2008 through a mutual friend. It turned out that Schumann had admired Hathaway from quite some time. Their chemistry was undeniable, according to the Oscar-winning actress. They soon became inseparable. Hathaway and Schumann married in 2012 and welcomed their first child in 2016. Before Christian Bale met C.B. Blazek, he wasn't even planning on getting married. But the personal assistant who worked for his friend Winona Ryder changed his mind. The pair hit it off instantly and married in 2000. Now 15 years later into the marriage, the relationship seems to be stronger than ever. He thanked her profusely during his Academy Award acceptance speech and has credited her with grounding him during even his most extreme bouts of method acting. In the mid-1990s, Gillian Fink was working in a Los Angeles salon, and when she saw the name of one of her favorite actors, Patrick Dempsey, in her appointment book, she figured it was just a Hollywood prank. So when the Can't Buy Me Love star actually showed up, she was really surprised. The pair flirted with each other for a while. They were both already in relationships before coupling it off officially. They married in 1999 and have 3 children together. The relationship has had its ups and downs. Fink filed for divorce in January 2015, with the pair reconciled soon after. It was just another CD signing event for American Idol star Ruben Studdard. That is, until he saw her fan, Zuri McCant, who waited in line to get his autograph. Studdard was smitten, and the pair began dating soon after they first met in October 2006. They made it official in 2008, but their marital bliss was short-lived. Studdard filed for divorce from McCant in 2011, citing irreconcilable differences, and their marriage was officially dissolved in 2012. When you're one of the most famous models in the world, it's probably not too hard to find a date. But Gisele Bündchen didn't get a chance to meet her husband, Tom Brady, until their mutual friends set them up on a blind date. The Brazilian model had made her interest in the Patriots quarterback pretty clear before the two even met. To the surprise of likely no one, Brady was not opposed to pursuing a relationship either. Bunchen and Brady married in 2009 and now have 2 children together, and you can still see her cheering him on the stands. For Conan O'Brien, it was love at first sight when he met his future wife, Lisa Powell, who was a copywriter. Lisa had teamed up with the former late-night host in 2000 for a project, but the two wound up with a much deeper connection. O'Brien told Piers Morgan that there was footage of him literally falling for my wife thanks to the fact that the cameras were rolling during their meeting. While she was already a fan of his work, he too instantly became a fan of her sense of humor. They were married in 2002 and have 2 children. In 2003, jewelry designer Jennifer Meyer met her future husband, Tobey Maguire, on the set of his Oscar-nominated film Seabiscuit. Meyer didn't know that she would fall in love with the Spider-Man actor. 3 years later, they welcomed their first child, and in 2007, they were married. In the decade since, they've had another child and sadly announced their separation. But it appears that they're trying to make the transition as easy as possible on their family. Frasier's Kelsey Grammer is no stranger to walking down the aisle. He's been married 4 times and was definitely attached when he met Kelly Walsh, a flight attendant who is 25 years younger than him. Still, those hurdles weren't enough to keep the pair apart. Grammer proposed to Walsh in 2011, just weeks after his divorce from Real Housewives Camille Grammer was finalized. The pair married in 2011 and now have 3 children together. Adam Sandler was at the height of his career when he met his bride-to-be, Jacqueline Tilton. At the time, she was an aspiring actress and friendly with Sandler's frequent co-star, Rob Schneider. After they connected, it seems Sandler was just as enamored with Ton as she was with him. The pair dated for a few years before tying the knot in 2003 and have 2 children together. Pretty much everyone, except Jimmy Kimmel, is a fan of Matt Damon. But he only has eyes for one of his admirers, his wife of more than a decade, Luciana Barrosa. The Martian star met Barrosa, then a waitress, while he was living in Miami and filming the 2003 film Stuck on You. Damon pursued her, and the pair eventually married in 2005. 12 years and 3 kids later, they are still going strong. Actress Kelly Preston was very familiar with John Travolta when they worked together on the 1987 film The Experts. After all, she'd been a fan of him for many years. She'd even once had a premonition that she'd marry him after seeing one of his films. In Preston's case, dreams really do come true because she was the Saturday Night Fever star in 1991. Their relationship hasn't been without struggle. They lost a child and have been plagued by rumors about Travolta's sexuality and their lives as Scientologists. Before Elvis became the king of rock and roll, he was just another singer dreaming of his big break, and from the get-go, Priscilla Presley was in his corner, rooting for his success. The iconic singer met his wife when she was just 14 years old, and they were married 7 years later, in 1967. It was a sweet love story, but one that wouldn't last. As Presley became more famous, his relationship with Priscilla became more strained. It ultimately transitioned to volatile, and Priscilla divorced Presley in 1973. It's not uncommon to grow up with photos of your favorite celebrities decorating your bedroom walls. It's a little less common to eventually marry the said childhood crush. Though that didn't work out exactly for Katie Holmes in the end, she did have the distinct honor of having an adolescent dream come true. In 2005, she met Tom Cruise, whom she'd pinned after as a teenager. Shortly after, the two began a whirlwind and occasionally surreal courtship that ended in a lavish 2006 wedding. Following rumors of marital strain due to Cruise's devotion to Scientology, Holmes divorced her superstar husband in 2012. She probably took whatever pictures she still had of him off the walls too. And those are 25 celebrities who married their fans. If you still have a crush on a celebrity, keep your hopes high. You never know what the universe has in store for you. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more other content on celebrities.